All right, and it is 7-11 in our journal, page 246. You should be here with me. Okay, at the top it says use fraction circles, fraction strips, number lines, or pictures to help solve the number story. Make sketches to show how you solved. Even if you know the answer right away, I want you to show at least one picture. Could you go ahead and use all of these strategies to prove them? Yeah, go ahead. Be an overachiever. I love that. Showing extra work and justifying your answer. But let's see what the first one says. Tanya watched the whole football game. The whole football game. Keyword. Oops, I should be on my drawing tool. Whole football game. Micah watched 1/4 of the game, and Alma watched 3/4 of the game. Who watched the shortest amount of the game? Remember, underline keywords so we know exactly what we're talking about. My sketch. Well, what should we do? I'm going to do, I think, number lines for this one. Okay, so I'm going to put T for Tanya, and here's my number line. Oops, ignore that. Okay, there. And you know what? It said she watched the whole football game, so I know 0 to 1 is a whole. And yeah, this is where she would be because she watched the whole thing. Then we have M for Micah. And let's see, what's the denominator of a fraction? What are we going to split this line into equal parts? 4 equal parts. So I know this is 0, I know this is 1. Let's see, here's half. And now I'll split those in half to double that 2. Great. It says Micah watched, 1/4. So out of our 1, 2, 3, 4, he's going to be right here on the 1. Okay, I see right now Micah is closer to 0 than Tanya is. So right now Micah's the shortest, but we got to look at Alma too. So let's see what her fraction is. Her denominator is also 4. Great, so I can just bring down my segments. I know I broke this line into fourths, but she watched 3/4 of the game. 1, 2, 3. So who watched the shortest amount of the game? Remember, shortest is going to be closer to that 0 line, and it is Micah. Micah watched the shortest. Could you have done fraction circles or fraction strips or a different picture? Yep, as long as you showed at least one way to do it. You could double check your answer and show it another way. That would work. Okay, next one says Kaden makes 2 cups of salsa for the party. Salsa sounds so good right now. Okay, the 6 guests shared the salsa equally. Write a fraction that shows how much each guest eats. My sketch. Well, share 2 cups of salsa between 6 guests. How are we going to figure that out? Well, let's take a look. So I am choosing to do number or fraction circles for this one. So if I have 2 cups of salsa, I'm going to make this 1 cup of salsa, and I'm going to make this 1 cup of salsa. So now I have 2 cups of salsa, but you know what? I have 6 guests to share it equally with. So I'm going to take this cup of salsa and I'm going to break it up into 6 because there's 6 people. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So you can make sure you just draw your 6 however you would like, either copying down my strategy or coming up with your own. But here's my 1 cup of salsa, 2 cups of salsa. And let's see, if I give 1 to everybody, so let's say I give this to the first person. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, everyone would get 1. And let's say I gave this to the next person. How much are they going to get? What's the fraction of the salsa they're going to share? So they're going to have, well, this is 1/6 and 1/6. They get 1/6 of a salsa plus another 1/6 of salsa. Oops, save that. Great. Equals, how many are they going to get? 2/3. Oh, sorry. I was thinking ahead. 2/6 or 2/6 equals 1/3. 1/3. If you check on your number line, they are equivalent to each other. So they will get 2/6 of a cup of salsa. The next one says 1/6 of the party guests were Wildcat fans. The rest of the guests were Knight fans. What fraction of the guests were Knight fans? So my sketch, you choose one of the options, but I want you to try this on your own and see what you come up with. So if 1/6 of them were Wildcats fan, the rest of the guests were Knights fan. Figure out how many were Knights fans. You must draw a sketch. You can choose any strategy and come up with your answer. When you are done with that, meet me on the next page. Let's see, we're going. Okay, so if you are back, that means you completed number 3. Now we're going to look at this one. The hole on a number line is the distance from 0 to 1. Oh, look at this number line. Okay. Each number line shows more than one hole. More than one hole. Label the holes, then partition. Remember, partition sounds like part. Break it into parts to locate and label the given fraction. So how many holes do we have on this number line? Well, we have 0, 2. We have 4 holes. So let's label these. 1, 2, 3. We have 4 holes. But we need to partition these into halves. If I look at my denominator, that means each hole is broken up into 2 equal parts. So that's about half. This is about half of a hole, about half of a hole, and half of a hole. So this is 0, half, 2/2, 3/2, and so on, because we're adding halves as we go. We're adding those equal parts that were split up into 2 for each hole. Wonderful. Next one, 2/4, but we need to see how many holes we have. Well, 0, 1, 2. We have 2 holes on this line, but we need to split these into fourths. So I'm going to start with my strategy. I'm going to break it in half, and then when I break each equal part in half again, it doubles. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do the same thing with this hole. Break it in half, and then half again to double it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts in each hole. So this would be 1/4 and 2/4. And you know what? It wants us to show where 2/4 is. So right here, and it wants us to show where 1/2 is. That's right here. We know that 1/2 and 2/4 are equal to each other, but why don't they line up? Well, that's because we have 4 holes on this one and only 2 holes on this line. Would not be equivalent to each other because their holes aren't the same size. Here's one hole and here's one hole because the holes are not equal to each other. Great. Oops. And the rest of it's not on this page, of course. Okay, here we go. Now it says write a fraction below each triangle to show the distance from 0. So here's a triangle. So from 0 to here, what's our distance? Well, I see it's counting by thirds. So I know this is 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, which we can say is a whole, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3. So we are 7/3 away from 0. That's our distance, 0 to 7/3. We said this one was 6/3. Okay, well, I know that 3 can go into 3 one time. That's why we have one hole right here. I know that 6, oh, okay, I know 3 can go into 3 one time, and I know 3 can go into 6 2 times. So here's one hole. There's our next hole, so we have 2 holes, and then there's our next hole, so we have 3 holes. Great. But this triangle is 7/3 distance from 0. Let's figure out this distance from 0. Look at that. We are breaking them up into 8ths this time. 8 equal parts. So we don't know where the hole is, but we could figure it out if we found 8/8. Let's see where our triangle's at. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8, and I'm going to put 1 here because that's a hole. 8/8, 9/8, and 10 over 8. So that is 10/8. That's our distance, 10/8 from 0. Okay. Now it says label at least 2 more fractions on the number lines in problem 3 and 4. So for number 3 and number 4, I labeled this one for you already, but you should have 7/3 labeled and 10/8. It says label at least 2 more. Can you do more? Of course. I will never stop you from doing more. That would be awesome practice if you want to write them, but at least 2 more fractions on the number lines. So at least 2 more fractions up here and at least 2 more fractions down here. When you are done with that, go ahead and move over to math boxes. And this is your last math lesson for the week. So enjoy. See ya, people.